just looking at the English. When Saul set forth with the armies, he said, Allah will test you at the stream. I don't plan to go into a lot of the vocabulary, either of the grammar or actually of the Arabic terms. This would expand the time and the references that we mean to share with you much farther beyond than what we intend. That was a part of my original resistance, personally, because in order to drill down on it in detail, it would just take so much. Let's just work with um, a sense of what's going on, and inshallah, that should be enough, at least. And if you would, you can be motivated to do more on your own. But there's one word in this word that's used for a stream. The word that's used for stream in the Quran, nahar. Many of us, readers of the Quran, tajri min tahtiha al-anhar. Tajri min tahtiha al-anhar. Jannatu tajri min tahtiha al-anhar. Gardens beneath which rivers flow. Anhar. Anhar is plural. So this nahar is also, it's a stream. But also, this carries the meaning. It carries the meaning of newsprint. In modern Arabic, because obviously there was no newsprint at the time of this revelation. But in modern Arabic, that term carries newsprint, the idea of newsprint. So you're going to be tested at the stream. So what can we take from that? You can take from that, you have the idea of current events, right? Is that they call current events. And while we're talking about it, currency, right? You talk about currency. Currency has everything to do with what's going on with us right now. Current events has to do with what's going on right now. And where do you get currents? And where do you get currency? It's about water, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the water. So the water is a symbol of people. It's also a symbol of, and it's also one of the powerful ways of communicating. Slaves used to communicate from plantation to plantation by vibrations that they were able to send down the creek, down the stream. So the point is that it's a medium. It's a medium of communication. It's a medium of communication. So the idea is that he will test you at the stream. So media is a trial for us, brother and sister. We have social media. We have all these sources. But one of my primary cautions right now is you should understand that most of the media that we consume is corporate media. Most of it is corporate media. And yes, there are other sources that seem to not be corporate media, but then corporate media is not the only way that you get reached. People talk about something going viral on social media. Well, see, that's also one of the ways, since they know that this is one of the ways that you communicate with each other, then these same forces, they will infect you with an idea through some piece of material that's been put into the stream of social media or live streaming, what have you. It's a stream, and you're being tested at the stream, right? So you're being tested by what's being communicated to you. Don't swallow everything that goes viral on the media. That's the stream, and that's the stream that's testing you. And if you don't pay attention, if you don't have taqwa, you're going to go to extreme. And extreme is a stream that takes you out. And that was the goal. The goal was to take you out. Elimination. However they can eliminate you, it's elimination. Another thing, that's why didn't you wonder why is the big deal toilet paper? Why is like, hey, they had a fight over toilet paper. You got to really stock up on toilet paper. That's Satan laughing at everybody. That's Satan is laughing at everybody who bought into that viral message. Why? Why do you need a lot of toilet paper? Well, that's Satan telling you what you're going to have a lot of to wipe up and to clean up. There's a whole lot of that. You know what that is. There's a whole lot of that we're about to put out there. You better get you a lot of toilet paper because there's going to be a lot of that out there. Why? I mean, you got to ask yourself, why? Right? And then the water, the same. It's like I'm telling you, from the water. They say, yeah, water, they fighting over water. Ain't no water, can't get no water. Now everybody got water coming out of their water faucet at home, but you better go pay for some more water, right? I understand. See, this is a part of my whatever calm down level in that, because I don't want you to think that I'm dismissing all the things that you have to do to prepare yourself for shortages of this and shortages of that. But why these particular things? Why these particular things? There are other things that are more important when you're facing the particular type of threat that you are told that you are facing. Why? We better get water, you better get toilet paper. Toilet paper, I already tell you. Because there's a whole lot of that was going to be put out there, and you're going to need a whole lot of toilet paper to wipe it up. That's how much is going to be out there. But then also the water sensitivities. You know, you better manage your sensitivities. You better be in control of your sensitivities. You better make sure your sensitivities are pure and not polluted. Because if your sensitivities get polluted, then you're going to be messed up. You might say right off the bat, it's like, okay, I understand. Okay, I see what you're saying in terms of Satan, you know, laughing at us with the toilet paper because it is. But then why would he tell us that? Why would he tell us that the water is going to? You need to have the water straight. It's like sound like that's something that would protect us. Well, that's not for you. That's for the others who also know that this is what's being signaled. And so you make sure that your sensitivities don't follow the mass sensitivity. Don't follow the mass sensitivity. You keep control of your own sensitivity. The water that's being streamed out right now is going to be polluted. You won't be able to tell what's the lie and what's the truth, etc. Don't drink that water. If you drink that water, you're going to get messed up. So it's a warning to those who also know. It's just like the panic of panic. That word is going to come back. It's a pandemic. It's panic. That word is going to come back later. Inshallah. Just like in the crash of 1929, the stock market crash, like what happened right here. Wouldn't you be interested to know who made money? Who made money in 2007? Who made money in 1987? Who made money at the dot-com bomb? Who made money at the 1929 crash? Did somebody have a heads up that something was going to be happening? I think so. So the idea is that those who know, they communicate with the others who know, and the others who know, they know how to register the signal. Right? They know what the signal is. And once the signal has been given, then they know what moves to make. But see, this is the Satan. We'll have details. Inshallah, when we get to that part. This is the first sentence of verse 249. This is no boast. I'm just telling you. That's why my original resistance was a little more. It's like, man, it's a lot. But mashallah, we have to go on. So it says, if any drinks of his water, he goes not with my army. Only those who taste not of it go with me. Meaning that reject what the mass corporate media is selling you and understand there are multinational global corporations that also own these social media outlets as well, and you can see them shutting down the people that they don't want to be heard, and the ideas that they don't want to go out there, they will shut them down. The ideas that serve their interests, they allow them to go. But we are led to believe that, okay, well, yeah, we have freedom. You see, you can say whatever you want to say. There's a lot of things that are not being said that that they don't want you to hear. Here's one example from me right away. Where is where is that inaugural ceremony of Ronald Reagan? I know somebody sent me 1 minute clip of Ben Vereen in blackface. At that, that's it. Ben Vereen dancing with. You can find that online. Dancing with Emmanuel Lewis, the little boy, whatever. No. Where is the full performance of Ben Vereen in blackface and Ronald Reagan sitting on a throne? I'm not even focused on the racial dimension of it so much so, but again, you have to understand that there are overseers over the ones that you think are in charge. I told you when the current president got elected in 2016, I said that Satan is playing his trump card. Satan is playing his trump card. It's like, that was mashallah, plain as day, I would say, to a student of Imam Muhammad, Rahim. Satan is playing his trump card. And now, at a certain level, it's like game over, right? But remember, Allah is in charge of everything. But in any case, so the idea of the corporate owners of this that you think is, these are free. Okay, Ronald Reagan. It's like, where's the full clip? Where's the full documentary? Where's the full archive recording of it? Because Bob Hope and Emmanuel Lewis, they did a piece together. Me and My Shadow. They did that. How come I can't find that anywhere? I can't find it anywhere. Why? I haven't checked recently for the Wag the Dog piece, but I believe that had been shut down somewhere. But I got to go look for it. So Me and My Shadow, Ben Vereen acting in whiteface, blackface. That's a signal. That's a signal that the same white supremacist master narrative, the white dominance hierarchy, is still in place. But then understand this: the Caucasian, the Gentile, they're not in charge of that. If you think that everything stops with the Caucasian, the European, well then you missed the trick. The trick is past them. It's past them. It's like the story. Most time when we look at that Halloween figure, that most of we get it as a Halloween figure, Frankenstein. Frankenstein. Who is that? That's Frankenstein. No. That's Frankenstein's monster. That's Frankenstein's monster. And all you have to do is go back and look at, you can find it. Let me see if I got it right here somewhere. Any other time, I'd be able to pull it right up and show it to you. But it's not. Oh, there it is. Okay. This. You need to find that. It's the golem. The golem. This is the origins of Frankenstein's monster. That's the origin of Frankenstein. Say whatever you want. This is what I said. Mashallah. Let's move on. You need to try to find this because it explains. Doesn't he have a very interesting? Show it this way. Doesn't he have a very interesting hairdo? Doesn't the hair make you pay attention to the hair? Excuse me. Wow, it's so much to that. The next time you get a chance to look at Tutankhamun, see if that the headdress for the Egyptian Sphinx and things like that to see if it doesn't look like that a little bit. Okay, so the point is that they signal to each other, and whoever understands the signs, the symbols, etc., then they know which page to turn to in the book that they read, and consequently, then life goes on. So let's stay with this. Let's stay with this in terms of what this verse is saying. It said, "Whoever drinks of it goes not with me, but a sip out of the hand is excused." A sip out of the hand is excused. There's a lot of depth to so much of this, but the sip. Now, Imam Muhammad, Rahim, may Allah have mercy on him, he tells us about words. Words make people. You have to watch out for language. And again, you know that these people who manipulate the language, there's a children's tale of Master of all masters, and it had everything to do with the master of the house was the one who controls the language. So a sip out of the hand. What we're in right now, what's been ordered for the people, wrong language, social distancing, because that's the idea. They want to separate you from society. That's the whole idea. Separate you, to decimate, to disintegrate the society, because Allah's hand is over the collective body. So if we can disseminate and decimate, we can decimate the body, then we can deal with each of the fragments alone. It's like you separate one from the herd, and that's the one that you can bite. But what if you can separate the whole herd? Then that means you can eat the whole herd. So, in any case, though, so the social distancing, physical distancing, is what we are actually doing, and that's fine. If that's in the interest of the society, that's fine. But the language of social distancing is also telling us to be distant from society. No, don't be distant from society. You want to save society so you can have a normal social order. And recognize this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala develops the people through social interaction. Social interaction is what gives us our moral development, our intellectual development, our advancement as human beings. You need social contact, social interaction, etc. for that. But again, can't you see how people who are of the mentality of the shaitan, and again, the people who institute it, whoever they might be, they don't. Most people who institute what the quote unquote the powers that be tell them to do, they're not in touch necessarily with what we're saying here, because everybody just don't know. So they're just doing their job. Okay, and they've been given a rationale that supports them doing the job, and so therefore they don't have the kind of conscience that would say, well, no, wait a minute. No, they've been brought into cultural consensus trance, and so do this, and that's it. And the goal is to bring everybody into the cultural consensus trance that's desired by those who have the power over the cards that they play. And when they bring you into that, then the point is that now you'll simply obey the way I told you. Whatever we say, that's what you're going to do. So in any case, but a sip out of the hand. A sip out of the hand. What we're said to be in the protocol is called sheltered in place. Sheltered in place. Sip. Let me let you know, some of my pauses is that there's so many movies that run through my head while I mention this. It's like, I said, well, should you mention that? Okay, since I've stopped, let me mention one movie, They Live. Go look at that. I've already mentioned one about the golem. Go find that. Then also another movie, They Live. It's an old movie. It had a Roddy Piper or something, a wrestler of the time. You know, he was a popular wrestling figure. They Live, very much like what we're experiencing right now. Also, when you talk about being overwhelmed, when tribes and large swaths of people are overwhelmed by invading armies and forces and powers, etc. One such movie is like Apocalypto, and this is an apocalyptic circumstance, an apocalyptic scenario. This is where we are. We are in end times, but not in end times the way that the general quote unquote Judeo-Christian society believes it to be. We're actually at the end of an order. And it says, the Bible says, and when the fullness of the Gentile is come in, when the fullness of the Gentile is come in, that's it. And the fullness is like, okay, we've gotten what we wanted to get out of the trick that we put on them, and so now they have gotten the world, and now all we have to do is take the world from them, and we've set them up in such a way that we can take the world because we've used them as an agent to gather the world all unto them. So now they are the world power, so now all we have to do is take over them. There's a saying in Jewish tradition, I believe it is, where the boy inherited. He was away when his father died, right? So the boy was away when his father died. So nobody was there but the slave that had the run of the estate when the father was passing away. And so the father passed away. Before the father passed away, he told the slaves that I will all this to you. But what you have to do is take this letter to my son, and wherever his son was, take the letter to him and allow him to choose one thing from all of my possessions. Let him choose one thing from all of my possessions. So the slave, he was so happy. Yeah, I'm gonna get this stimulus check. No, I mean, all this inheritance is mine. Yes, but let my son choose one thing from it. And so when the boy got the letter, his father died, and that everything had been willed to the slave, but the slave had to give you an opportunity to choose one thing from all the things that he had inherited from your father. And so he went to speak to some of the wise among his people who are of the same brand, if you will. And so they reflected on the matter, and then they told him, choose the slave, because the slave belonged to the father too, and whatever the slave owns belongs to the one who owns the slave. It's just a principle. It's just a principle that people who know and would use that kind of strategy, who have inherited that kind of mindset and strategy, that's a story that is used for certain circumstances. And once you are able to do that with a group of people, bring them under the influence of that, get them started on that strategy while they themselves don't know that they are under a strategy, well then everything that they possess is going to belong to you. And that's what has happened to the Gentile. That's what has happened to the Gentile. The Gentile has been used to bring the world under its power, but that world power that it has become is a power that has been vested in them by someone who had power over them without the masses of them knowing it. And so, again, so much more to that. So we're sheltered in place, right? Sheltered in, what is sheltered in place? Sip. It's a sip. Sheltered in place. Sip. So, sheltered in place, okay. That's fine. But don't drink the water. Don't drink the water. All right? Don't buy the stream. Don't buy the information. Be very wary of all the information. And I have to tell you, one of the things to be wary of is someone telling you that there's only one thing that's causing this pandemic. It's all because of that. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. It's happening, however it's happening, whyever it's happening, whatever, whoever started it. Okay, it's happening. It's happening. It's having the effect on us. You including the deaths and the this and the that. That's fine. I mean, you do that. Don't swallow that whole thing, because it's going to undermine your ability to go forward. There's a place where you understand that that stream and whoever drinks of it goes not with me. It has also to do with the neurochemicals that flow through your body. And certain neurochemicals flow when you're positive, and certain neurochemicals, when I say positive, meaning that you have a sense of security, a sense of encouragement, a sense of satisfaction, a sense of hope. All of those, there are certain neurochemicals that flow in your body like a stream, that flow in your body that way. But also, there's another set of neurochemicals that flow in your body when you are afraid, when you are insecure, when you are anxious, etc. So the immune system scenario is a very important scenario, not just for the COVID, but it is important for you just in general under these circumstances, because you will become more spiritually disempowered, mentally disempowered, emotionally disempowered, and then that's the disease that the one that I'm speaking about, the shaitan, wants you to have. He wants you to have the fear disease, the doubt disease, the whatever, the disease that makes you afraid, right? Because once I get you there, then it's easy to do everything else. Because in order for you to be saved from your fear, you'll be willing to submit to almost anything that I present, so that you will not be afraid anymore. You will not be anxious anymore. You will not feel insecure anymore. So we're sheltered in place. So sheltered in place is one thing, but don't drink, let's just call it, the water that the mass media is putting out. There's more to be said.